Hey guys, welcome to Divine and Conqueror's Hogwarts Prep. This is a 5th edition game based in the Wizarding World. It is currently the year 1944. And yeah, let's have some fun and roll some dice. Just quick housekeeping things. Most likely we will not have a Lee showing up today due to some stuff. And so we'll be having Ryan pilot the bones, and then I have her here too. Just in case.
Of course, Griswold will pilot the bones.
Griswold will
Of
pilot.
course.
Of course, yes. That makes all the sense in
She's
the
my
world.
puppet and she doesn't even know it
Oh
yet.
my god.
So some announcements. We did our one shot for Alistair. The video is going to be on Twitch for the next 60 days if you subscribe. It's also going to be on YouTube Monday. So please check out, and links to the Bros comic, everything. The first chapter has been released on Webtoons. Apparently, which I also tested, the easiest way to find it is if you literally click the word Alistair Webtoons, it's the first link on Google. So cool, because the Bros deserve it. Speaking of, yeah, please do. Speaking of Bros, this Saturday they'll have their Dimming Planes and Doodles stream, which is super cool. Very involved with the community that they have made. If you go down below on our links and you hit their Patreon for as little as $1 a month, you can be involved in the Discord, have conversations with how what to do for what they're gonna do on the streaming show, even give ideas and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
What day does Dimming Planes and Doodles stream?
Saturdays at 10 to close to like midnight, 12:30.
Okay, it's just that's the day I normally work, but I do have a request if they're up for it. And that is
send that to them.
Okay, it was gonna be like show me an unmasked Griswold.
Show that.
I feel like the mask is a bit of a cop out, but anyway, let's get through introductions.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did test it. Alistair, if you type Alistair Webtoons in Google, it's the very first one.
There you go.
Corner
Also,
the market.
Yes, corner that market. Corner that BI each. Our friends at Talent Claw, which make awesome dice trays and dice vaults and DM screens, and all sorts of cool things. Their Etsy is down below, and if you use the code Divine Conquer, you get 10% off their merch. Also, speaking of merch, we do have some more. We have some merch. Jeremiah has a cool mask that I saw. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, posters and which I hashtag list. I have a new poster that I need to put up on my wall for the Horde of the Dragon Queen. It's pretty cool.
I have something on my wall.
That camera fell. That is the underside of your table, my friend. That is not a wall.
That poor camera.
Oh, that's a wall.
That's a wall.
Look at that Sea Devil's flag.
Woo!
Yeah, so there too, but it's smaller.
Have masks.
Yes, yeah. So merch down below if you care for any of it. Look at that cup.
Ooh, that's so nice.
Yeah, as I legitimately still want to drink some coffee. So the info's down below. Please support us if you will. Supporting local artists is always cool. Any special announcements as I open up for the rest of y'all?
Just one quick one. It's my announcement I always do.
Of course.
Smash
times
things
are
with
kind
your
of
always.
well, yes, of course.
That's not
Always
an
smash things
announcement.
with your
That's a threat.
Well, it can be. Anyways, as you guys know, times are really uncertain right now, and they're kind of difficult for everybody. So just remember to be kind to each other. That's really, you don't know what a moment of kindness could do to another person's life right now. So
Yeah, shit's.
it's always a good idea.
Shit sucks.
Be nice to everyone, or Neff will smash you with her maul.
Be nice to everyone. Just love everybody.
And with that, let's roll that beam footage, shall we?
Yeah.
So, as we were discussing things, and I totally did not have recap music prep, as it is now, let us recap, shall we? So last time on Hogwarts Prep, the Order of the Broken Moth started off, well, at least a third of them, fighting off some Banshees in the Forbidden Forest. As they narrowly escaped, killing a little bit, I believe 3 of the Banshees, still leaving 4 left, 2 of the Banshees. The Jericho nearly escaped when a swarm of insects started covering him up, and the Banshees started killing off of those insects as a very weak voice just told him a simple word: run. Leon dissected a letter given from one of his closest friends with a spell his father created, about to teach that spell to his students, having some odd memory of a conversation that never happened, the farm being taken care of, and you guys speaking with Dumbledore about the inaction he's been taking, with some heated words, some thoughtful words.
Emphasis on thought.
Thoughts, a lot of thoughts. Some of you still not know if to trust him. Some of you trusted him with everything you had. Dumbledore did decide that it was time for him to do something with the issue of Griswold, and that's when he evaporated. With the thought of what your mission is from the Minister of Magic himself, you guys needed to find a location to practice, learn spells, teach new spells, and formulate a plan that no one can hear. And that is when, to Leon, the Room of Requirement appeared to him. So, with the mission to kill the Alpha, but to keep it as hush as you possibly can, to save as many werewolf lives as you can, to not have this conflict, because the Ministry has had some bad luck with this, as most of the people being sent into the forest has not come back. With all this information, let us start the game, shall we? And we're actually going to start in the new room that you guys have learned and acquired. As I change the music here really fast. So, as you guys step into this room that appears semi-metallic with hints of blue, as these large windows appear showing the outside of the castle, but you kind of see the rotation of a constant image as it was just an illusion of what would be outside. You see some archery boards, you see tables with different material components, a bed, lots of torches to give the specific mood, a table filled with just enough chairs for all of you, ink, paper, quill. You see a large box with a lock behind you, and yeah, you guys are in a room of requirement to have any privacy that you would need. What do you do?
I hate to interject early.
Yeah.
I need Spinal's avatar, because I think I went and got him before I met back up with the party.
Yeah, let me get that for you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna, well, basically, I'm gonna go over here or whatever. It was like, I guess let's just kind of role play. It was like, it's time for your lessons, kids. Chop chop.
Gonna be like, I'm gonna be looking around at first, and I'm just gonna be like, I've never been in this room before. And then Leon's gonna say that, and I'm gonna be like, yes, sir, teacher.
I was like, this is weird.
You will also see Bones just immediately lining up with Neff, paying full attention as well. See her; she's tying her hair back just in case, redoing her ponytail.
But yeah, it's basically
Well,
like, I guess, spend a few hours on it to teach the spell of the invisible. And
So yeah, after an hour of Leon demonstrating, and then a secondary hour you guys copying it, you are able to add a first level spell to your spell list. It takes 1 action to cast. The material components that you need is Arcanic ink, and it will consume the Arcanic ink, which is as much ink as we'll say 1 gold for the purposes of this spell. As soon as you use up the spell, 1 gold of ink will be used from your canister, and you can write a secret message, cast a spell. The message reveals itself or unreveals itself depending on when you casted it, and then you can write a letter on top of it. If the spell works successfully, it is indistinguishable, and the abilities and magical inquiries of the ministry will not be able to detect the hidden ink. It is specifically a spell to bypass specific ministry detection. So I can never find a happy medium for music.
You just see Neff so friggin' happy. She's like, I know, I can do this. I'm so happy.
And speaking of letters, for the purposes of our audio listeners as well, there is 2 letters that were dissected. One, a howler that disappeared, and the howler was disguised with different ink than it was saying. And Leon, you just recently discovered your father's, Gregory's letter with your father's spell, and a message written from Gregory himself. So you have those 2 letters, and I don't really feel like role-playing it, but it should be at least discussed for audio listeners.
Oh, the letter. Well, basically, let me go to the journal because I don't fully remember what it was.
Yeah. Actually, let me get the journal for you guys.
While y'all are pulling that up, Griswold is purposely forgoing learning this spell.
Okay.
Thinking I'll be able to learn it from Leon later, and he's got Griswold he's got Spineroll over to the side, and while everyone's distracted, Jesus, you remember that plan I was telling you about? I'm going to whisper to Spineroll this idea, and I guess just tell me how he would react to it. With the intent that it remains secret.
You do see him calm and ever eager, and then gives you a few little
Here,
nudges.
I'll send you a message in voice.
Now I'm worried.
What I'm thinking.
Sure. The overall is yes, I am ready. But I need to make sure he has a couple things on him that I will note. Okay. As Leon is teaching you guys this, you do hear a Spineroll just yell "Yes!" The most excited he's ever yes in his life.
I guess I'll give him a taste of it, and I'll message the intent of target, assuming he's willing.
He is, and yeah, you message me that, and we'll get to that in a second, because that definitely will need its own moment on the spotlight. So, Leon, what were you doing?
So basically, the way I'm kind of teaching them, and then when they started really learning it and figuring it out, I'll show them the letter that Gregory sent me. As normal, it says, Master Leon Harith Jones. Master, all is well. The estate. What did you do? I had it.
I was showing to.
Yeah, it's fine. It's flickered. Like, what happened?
Yeah, showed it to all players. Yeah. My bad.
All is well. The estate needs nothing. Supervene as always to report yet again. All is well. How are your travels, Mrs. Jones? Carriers Much for you, with love, Gregory. And I guess with that it was like, love, Gregory. That was like, this is different. So that's the reason why I went to the estate. If I had known that this is my father's spell, Gregory sent me a warning with a special message in it, and then I kind of cast the spell on it,
Okay.
like, you know.
Just to let you know, for the mechanics of the spell, once you use the 1 gold, you can reveal and unreveal the ink infinitely. It's not like 1 per. So let me show the paper to all players. Jeremiah, if you already opened it, I apologize.
Yeah, it's fine. And then, basically, I don't know if you see any kind of difference. Letters and words are highlighted.
As when you guys see the incantation being uttered and the spell, the wand touching the paper, you see some of these letters that were not capitalized just immediately get capitalized, or some that were, just the letter gets turns into the smaller font, and you see that it's almost like written on top.
Yeah, and the secret message is basically saying, ministry is here, careful. If I have known my father's spell, I probably would have been a little bit more careful. But at the same time, I don't remember seeing the ministry there when I got there. I don't think so. And you just kind of see Leon a little bit confused in his head, kind of getting a little bit of a headache as well. Trying to remember what happened there, but he doesn't really... He does not remember ministry being there at all. But, we had dinner, but apparently the ministry was there. I guess I didn't catch them when I got there. But if I didn't go to the estate, I probably wouldn't have learned about this spell. And that's it.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad the ministry wasn't there. Oh, I do want to note, by the way, when Spineroll goes, yes! Or whatever, Neff definitely turned around and was looking at them for at least a couple of minutes.
You see that Spineroll's punching Griswold. And Griswold's
when
trying his best to get his attention, but it's not working right now.
When he sees Neff looking somewhere else, I'm gonna go to right in front of her and go, flip out! not all of her, but the desk.
The desk, yeah.
Right. You're not paying attention.
I'm getting Snape-esque vibes now.
Don't rain on my parade.
And as you guys finish learning that spell, I need all of you to roll me a perception with disadvantage.
Oh no!
Perception disadvantage.
You're all focused on something else.
Jesus, what time is it by?
I would say that right now it'd probably be closer to noon.
Okay.
You said it was. You said it was 1-ish when we were in Dumbledore's office and checked.
Oh, was it? Okay,
So
then it was noon when you guys went to go, or when you guys were at the other location. That's why I have a noon here. So I would say that it's probably closer to 2-3. It's 3:30 at the moment because it took you 2 hours to learn the spell. So Leon, what did you get?
Disadvantage 21.
Holy shit!
Okay.
I rolled pretty high, 14 and 17, and it took 14 plus 7.
Of course.
Do I need to roll? Oh wait, no. Bones does.
Bones needs to roll.
Oh, that's good. Oh wait, disadvantage.
Yeah.
Take the lower.
Oh.
Goodness gracious. Okay. Bones more than likely passed. That's a base 16.
16. Okay. All right. Neff,
Sorry, Neff didn't pass.
What did you get, Neff?
Yeah, that's an 18 after plus on bones.
Okay.
Neff got a 12.
What did Sonya and what did Jericho get?
22.
Disadvantage 19.
I'm assuming they're gonna.
Why do I even
up.
ask for you guys to roll perceptions?
Barbarian, don't know nothing.
As you
Neff is concentrating on this.
As Neff, you sit there and concentrate at that whip sound, and all of you kind of turn to look at Griswold, since that's kind of where Neff was looking at earlier. You do not see a spine roll anymore.
And Jesus, check your message, because the second they turn and look, that might actually foil my intent, but I already typed it.
Secret message.
I mean,
will say
Grizz
that
is also brutally honest, so him trying to hide something is hard.
When they all look at you, Griswold, your brain immediately starts panicking, and you guys hear a as you see in front of you, Griswold, that wasn't there before, a cage, like a mouse trap, not harmful or anything, and then a little rat just kind of squirming around inside of the trap. And you all see that, except for
Neff.
One thing that you do see kind of odd on this, that the mouse is completely green.
I'm just gonna turn around and be like, "Oh, hey guys, how you doing? What's up? What's going on?"
At this point, Neff will turn around and look.
You see a very open, spacious, but in a way that cannot be escaped, a little mouse just gonna. And you see that mouse kind of stands up and goes up to the cage. Tuk, tuk, tuk.
What is there? I thought you were learning a spell or something. What's going on here?
I don't want to.
I was just like, nope, I'm out.
What are you doing?
Okay, at this point, Neff is going to turn back and look at Leon and be like, "Permission to walk over there, sir?"
Granted. I'm curious as well. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Walk over.
What? Man's not allowed to have his own pet projects.
I'm going to bend down in front of the cage, because I'm assuming it's like small enough that I'd have to squat in front of it.
Yeah, you definitely have to.
And I'm going to go to the bar as softly as possible.
You see a little, technically it's a rat, apologize, mice and rats are different.
It's a rat.
Yeah. As the rat kind of just goes out and nibbles at your finger, and then it instead stands up again, and then just, you see the little claws just kind of make a fist.
I'm just gonna sigh and be like, okay, I was gonna keep it a secret, but I'm trying to get Spine Roll adapted to being polymorphed, so if we need an ace in the hole, I can make him a lot bigger and a lot more able to punch things.
Oh god, thank god. I don't have to be your test dummy.
Hey, the snake was good in a pinch, okay? It was good in a pinch.
Ow. Ow.
How?
I mean, I did get.
I also do want to note, as a player, not as a character, that if you are unwilling and also a shape changer, i.e. a werewolf, it automatically fails on you.
Really?
By rules, if you are not willing, it automatically fails, unless Jesus says otherwise.
But if you're willing and a werewolf, it works?
The way we've talked about it is because y'all are party members, if y'all are willing to my intent to polymorph you, it will go through. But if you are unwilling and I attempt to polymorph you, it automatically fails. You don't even roll.
Okay.
That is only for Neff and Jericho, unless there are any other shape changers that I don't freaking know about in this party.
You don't know.
I know Sonya will try to counterspell me if I throw it at her. And,
Obviously.
yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Neff is okay. So when that happens, Neff is gonna look over at Griswold and be like, "Okay, you can also change me into an ape again. I don't mind."
Yeah, the intent is you can keep hitting stuff with your maul, and Spineroll can be the ape. And then I'll just kind of motion to him and be like, come on out, little bud. I don't want you re-expanding in the cage.
Roll me a handle animal, but with advantage, since Spineroll trusts you indefinitely.
Of course. I don't know what my handle animal is offhand.
It'll be your wisdom.
Under wisdom, yeah.
Oh, thank God. Something I'm actually at least somewhat proficient in.
You're a druid, so you should be at least okay.
Okay. That is a 14.
All right, that's enough. I see. It kind of doesn't know really what to do. Nibbles on you, then kind of climbs on your arm, and then you see that he's right here. Then you see the rat kind of going around where the shield is and kind of just perching on the shield.
And I will drop concentration on polymorph.
Yes. As a little Spineroll falls to the ground.
He ain't so little anymore. He's like 3 feet tall.
Well,
but...
yeah. I mean, you know.
I mean, 3 feet is still not super tall, but I mean, it's good.
He's like when I first pictured Spineroll, I thought he was like knee high. So having him be 3 feet tall, he's like up to like mid torso on me.
True. He has grown a bit in the past year.
Yeah, but I'll look to Spineroll and be like, how are you feeling? Like, were you at least like cognizant? Not cognizant. He doesn't understand big words. Were you aware of what was going on?
Yes, I became small and my punches were ineffective.
Don't get me wrong. I have no intention of turning you that small. If we're actually in a pickle, you're gonna be much bigger.
Yes, that's correct.
Scarier.
Bigger means bigger punches.
I need you to be adjusted to the idea of being affected by this spell before I make you bigger. Because if I make you bigger before you're ready, you might hit one of us.
You see this like blank expression on this cactus as he looks at you. I am ready.
You're not ready.
He goes over to Neff. He's
Oh no!
Neff, he's gonna swing at you. Are you gonna dodge it?
You know what? I'm feeling generous with him. I won't dodge it.
Okay. As want to check one thing real quick. Nope. All right, I'm making sure. As you do take 6 points of bludgeoning damage. As that is a hard hit. As you like, for a second, you kind of just flinch, like, ow.
No. What Neff's really gonna do, because she loves Spineroll.
Yeah.
She's going to be like, as soon as he hits her, she's gonna be like, oh. Start like acting it up.
Roll me a performance, please.
Would his spines be out for an offensive maneuver like that?
You see that he actually has incredible control of them right now, and when they're all on his back.
Ah, okay.
I got a 16.
16.
Spineroll's not the smartest.
No, but I'm talking to flow everybody's passive insight. So your insight, if it does not beat a 16, you are like, oh my god.
Oh no, I have 7. My passive.
So okay, so yeah, you can see that she's acting it up. He hit hard, but she's acting it up. If your insight is less than that, let's say that insight plus 10, you really think that Neff is hurt. That Spineroll hit her hard. And as Neff's in pain, quote unquote, you see Spineroll calmly walk over to you, Griswold, with like the confidence of a 10-year-old getting away with it. I am ready.
I'm gonna look down at Spineroll, and then I'm gonna look up at the ceiling, and Jesus, how high is the ceiling on the Room of Requirement currently?
Currently, you see that it's about 10 feet tall, and when you look at it, you actually feel just it rising almost to 20 feet tall.
It can be as high as you require it.
I'm gonna look to Spine Roll and be like, okay, I'm going to shift you very briefly into my intention for this little strat, or I'll look to Leon, my ace in the hole, if you will.
I need to get
and I'm not even gonna let you move. You're gonna experience it for about 5 seconds and drop concentration. Okay, bud?
I am ready.
I'm gonna
just
I'm gonna
in case.
Jeff is running back.
Just in case, I'm gonna summon a bestial spirit.
Okay.
A little. It's a little beast.
Okay.
Native. I'm just gonna do a little bird.
Okay.
Just in case. It's a distraction.
As one of I'm trying to see if there is well, here is your bird, Jeremiah. Put it wherever you want. It's a large bird. I'm trying to see if there is a creature. No, they're not here. Okay, I'll have to go to my documents and get a token.
No, it's fine. This is fine for now.
Are you
it's
doing,
like a distraction.
Yeah. Are you doing a dire, aka giant, or you're?
No, it's small beast. I can only do a small beast.
Gotcha. No, but this is for Ryan.
For Ryan.
He's asking me.
Full intention?
Yeah, full intention. I am giant aping him.
All right. As you guys.
Spine Roll likes punching. Giant ape is punching.
Roll. Oh, he needs to be a little bit bigger. There you go. That's the correct side. The Spine Roll just transforms into a dire ape. He's still green. You see the protrusions and the like the bones that usually peer out in the dire ape form, and that like extra thickened, almost like boned armor that dire animals or giant animals in our case transform into, but they have a slight sharper edges and thinner than usual than you've seen the dire form be. Almost like spiral spines, and you just see this ape go.
I'm gonna look up at him and I'm going to say, "How you feeling, bud?"
Roll me a persuasion when you're done with your sentence.
Like you doing all right, and the condition is, if he goes to move and it looks aggressive, I drop concentration. I do not want anyone getting hit by this. He is very big and he's very fucking scary right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Okay, what did you get on persuasion?
Persuasion is a 16.
Okay. As you see...
I'm just, like, and I guess to add flavor to it, I'm gonna be like, yeah, like, nodding yes or, like, or no. Like, because I know he can't talk.
Yeah. You see that, you said, oh, nods yes, and goes... looks at Neff, starts sniffing in the air.
I am not risking it. I'm gonna drop concentration now.
Sending the bird here.
And as the bird flies over, you see as he kind of lifts his hands. As the polymorph drops, you see Spine Roll go back to its normal size. You see that as he's in the air, his hands go, as he's flying, just dink onto the mannequin, and you hear he just falls to the ground. I am ready.
You are not like.
And he looks right at you, Neff. I have vanquished you.
Yep, you sure did, buddy.
As there's
lay down now.
a spiritual bird just flying around him. It's like, must defeat the enemy, and starts running towards the bird. Even though the bird's higher than what he can reach, he's just chasing after it.
Yeah, I'll do that as a distraction. Just let the chase the bird for an hour, I think.
Okay, all right. As long as you keep concentration on it, and like just eyeball it every now and then.
Concentration 1 hour. Yeah.
You're not being attacked. You're not being threatened. You're fine.
Look over and say, that is my intent with training him with polymorph. Like I said, I was gonna keep it a secret, but I figure this way I don't have to worry about him as much if we get into trouble. Because he's as a cactus, he's pretty squishy, but as you just saw, as a giant ape, he is considerably beefier.
Yeah, I'm. When Spiral was a giant ape, Leon was clapping. He was like, wonderful.
Beautiful.
But this,
Neff is gonna look at Griswold and say, Good plan. I'm just gonna make sure he doesn't try to kill me.
I'm gonna look at him and be like, if he had hit you, that hurt. Like, and you weren't raging, that could have seriously hurt. And as a player, I will note he makes 2 fist attacks with his attack action in that form, and it's 3d10 plus 6 for each fist. That
can kill a player in one turn.
Yeah, like that's scary.
Neff did. Well, she got to a point where she could.
It is bludgeoning damage though, so if Neff was raging, that would be cut in half. Yeah. But still, this is why I'm training him with, and like this is shifting back into character. This is why I'm training him with like rats and smaller things and like maybe flying snakes or something like that, just to give him an idea of what it's like to have that different frame of mind when you like get hit with a spell like this. It's adapting him to it, so he's not like going in blind and being hard to control.
Makes sense.
Not that I can control Spineroll. He is his own cactus, and he'll punch whatever he wants. But I figure this might help, and it's a good bonding experience between father and adopted son.
Neff is gonna go back to the line, basically, but keep her eyes on Spineroll.
Oh, that was my second and final 4th spell slot for the day. Like, I can't do it again even if I wanted to.
Oh, I know, but Spineroll wanted to punch me, and I don't want it to happen again.
And then I'll address the party and ask, so are we just going to like lounge here and do stuff until tomorrow morning when we like what's our intent?
I think so. We do probably need maybe tomorrow before we really leave. This is the room of requirement, Jesus. So,
a bed turns up.
DM no. It's DM. It's up to you.
Bad
but
here.
I was like, I started thinking. It was like we do need maybe some arcanic ink for.
I have a bottle. I think I have a couple.
We need
actually.
to probably buy at the.
Hogsmeade?
What's that called? At Hogsmeade before we leave, and then it appears at the table.
As arcanic ink literally just appears with paper.
Yeah.
Well, we are in the room of requirement, I guess. I'll grab that, put it in my bag. I don't know how much that is.
This room can
one
very
vial of
quickly
arcanic
get
ink.
One
vial of arcanic ink.
1 vial. Okay. How many gold is that for purposes of the spell?
10 gold.
Okay.
Pick some up in the dungeon that
Yeah,
we
as did I. Because I know I've got at least
that
one
and
vial.
paper.
So, what do the rest of you guys do?
I know Sonya's just probably gonna. She has her at 7 or 8 to go to the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go back to the divination professor that may or may not be Trelawney at this point. I don't think it is Trelawney yet.
No,
just so you know,
Sonya,
I did send you a message.
Oh, okay. And pop up.
Technically, divination wasn't a
in the room.
Until
Oh, of course.
Oh no! Oh no! Sonya's got a crystal ball that she doesn't have to rent.
As she thinks about the material component that she needs as a crystal sphere appears, materializes right in front of her with a slight little Hogwarts, Hufflepuff glow to it.
Do I see this appear?
Yeah. As she thought about a spell she wants to practice, and the sphere appeared.
I'm going to look up at the ceiling, look around at the walls, and then picture in my head as hard as I can. I really need 3 more full human skeletons.
You hear
Oh my god.
this at this chest. You hear.
Oh, this is busted. Nah, I'm not abusing this anymore. I'm gonna over and
You
open it.
3 full human skeletons.
It's like a +3 bonus.
A +3 Holy Avenger Blade, please. Thank you.
Griswold in character is just like, yes, and then just cramming them into the bag of holding as fast as he possibly can.
Oh, like, do we see that?
Yeah, you see Griswold opening a chest that was already there and pocketing 3 skeletons into his bag of holding.
Oh.
I'm like, okay. I would assume that the lesson is over or something, but
Sure. I mean,
like,
as long as you want to stay in this room, you can.
you know, like after that, I'm just gonna sit down on the chair.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And basically study more of the journal if there's any more kind of other information I can figure out from that.
Roll me an insight. Investigation, sorry.
Oh man, can it be insights better? Yeah, that's not that well. 15.
As you
11,
read through it again, you are like remembering facts that you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, and you're trying to like identify the things that were redacted or the pages that were missing, and you get no new information.
Okay.
You kind of feel that like you've already skimmed through this as much as you could. It still helps every now and then to like keep refreshing, obviously, but you don't find anything new and additional.
Oh Jesus!
Yes, sir.
I'm about to send you a link really quick.
And
if the room won't generate this, I totally understand from a DM perspective.
Well, it opened it where I didn't want it to open.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
All I'm trying to get is the material component which that spell consumes. It's also a steep price, so if you say no on this, I totally understand. But that is the next thing Griswold's going to attempt to picture in his mind.
First of all, roll me an Arcana to see if you've studied this effectively enough to be able to recall every specific detail for a spell of this magnitude.
Got you. That is a base stat 19. After pluses, you said Arcana?
Yeah.
Arcana.
Okay.
Let me go back to my front page. That's a dirty 20.
All right, you just get the number that you needed. I'll say that 1,000 gold worth of rare oils, essentials, and fragrances, with powders and a ancient-looking scroll as part of the incantation appears right in front of that box.
I also want to make you aware I can't even cast this yet.
Oh, I understand.
It's good to have things ahead of time.
Yeah,
Like a crystal ball.
That's an insurance policy. I will take that, stick it into my bag of holding as well, as easily as that'll go into.
Each oil will have like a little vial or something, so like it won't spill.
Couple of things.
Yes.
Because this is literally what Neff would be thinking about.
Okay.
The first thing she would think about is she would rub like where she got hit, and she'd be like, "Ow, that really hurt. I might need to take a potion or something."
No.
Sure, a potion appears.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus, this room is busted. Stop it. Tell us no.
Wait.
This room is absolutely busted.
If you wish for something in this room, it appears.
Yeah, that's game breaking.
So, Neff is going to take the potion and be
Sure.
like, "Sweet."
Okay.
Then she would be thinking. Honestly, she'd be thinking about, man, I really wish I could figure out what we need to do with those freaking centipedes. like
No, I'm. Jess or Neff, when I came into the room, I'd make you aware that the herbology professor's already brewing it up, and will send it via owl to the.
Because that's literally she was gonna go like.
It's already covered.
Okay, so.
But I appreciate your thought on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, well, the thought would be, man, that's really great. I'm glad that we get to get these centipedes taken care of. But since that's already taken care of, then she wouldn't like try to wish for that into existence.
Sure.
But then she'd sit down and be like, "Man, I'm hungry," and she'd think of her favorite meal, which would
appears.
which would be we figured this out. Meatloaf at the time.
Meatloaf appears on the table, right here, in a silver dish that you open up, and it's meatloaf.
Yeah, I'm gonna just
devour it. Yeah.
Okay. Sonya sees all this happening. She's like covering her ball.
She's what, sorry?
Sonya sees all this happening, I guess, and she's like cherishing her crystal ball. She's like, my precious.
My precious.
But at the same time, it's like, wait, I have one more. I have a request. If she can have the component, it will be just archaic ink and archaic paper for the spell that Leon gave her that I haven't written down
there was
yet.
There was some in here too.
Yeah, that is something
table.
that you would require. It has to specifically be something that you actually need. Yeah.
Because I didn't have enough gold for it. That's why.
I'll say the same thing. Under 10 gold worth of arcanic ink appears. It's a little vial about like yay big. This appears.
All right, then. Later on, she's gonna start writing it down and spend the time and need to have it.
Sure. Add it to your sheet if you want.
She's gonna take the crystal ball to the table.
Okay. As you do, grab it.
And just kind of, she knows it's out of her reach. She's gonna like try scrying for like. She's gonna try scrying for somebody.
Oh, who are you trying to scry on?
I have a personal artifact from Frederick, the hunter that we met. I had a strand of his hair.
Okay.
So.
Roll me an Arcana.
Wait, but didn't he die?
No, you let him go.
Told to go high. Spain, I think.
Oh,
Federico.
Wait. Oh, Federico. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why I was thinking leader, not Mr. Federico.
No, I killed him.
Yeah.
24.
24. You start seeing like a foggy vision of someone running, and you hear leaves crunching, and then the crystal ball just looks like a crystal ball again, and you just see your reflection.
Oh, this is gonna be fun to work.
Oh no.
I'll say for the purposes of like you prepping that spell, I will say that you mark off a 4th level slot just for casting the Arcana for that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, Jesus, this might be a stretch, but maybe I can.
Oh no.
I can do something like this.
Sure. What's
This is not item wise like Griswold over here.
That was the last thing I asked for. He made me roll for it. I hit a dirty 20. I'm totally okay with that being fine. I'm not abusing this anymore.
This is information wise.
What's up?
Because of what I've been thinking about, basically because I'm studying my dad's notes and stuff, and talking to Dumbledore about it, and this is all he knows about it is the median. Like I'm thinking about it, was like I wonder if I can find any more information to this. Basically,
I don't think the room is sentient.
Yeah, I was like,
so
like,
what is your thought?
It was like they were saying children's riddle. Where can I find this children's riddle? Is there a complete version of it? Maybe in the library.
What's the riddle?
In the labyrinth where Midian hides under the suicide star. Suicide star? Is that correct?
Yep.
That is what I annotated.
Under wings of graveyard leather. And then there's there's other things that probably Dumbledore doesn't know.
Since that is how you came up with your thing, you see a couple of really old scrolls just appear in front of you with like a really, I'll say gold little knot on them. Like they look old.
Yeah, Leon is being a very good Ravenclaw in studying.
As you...
He has like book. He has journals. My journal, his dad's journal.
As you open it up, it just says the poem again. But all around it, you see this calligraphy of gold. Like it looks akin to like very old Bibles that were like handwritten. This is hand painted, and is that exact poem again, but it looks very, very old.
Okay.
In addition to that, there are some drawings around of like roll me history.
History. What's my history? +4. Oh, freaking talented claw. 23.
Damn.
So
19
first you're thinking
plus
like
4.
it kind of looks a little bit like the page that you found, like the color of that one box you found at the tomb. And when you remember like all the old school emblems that you had, you're trying to remember like, well, it's not Greek. That one's very Greek. Same thing with the letter from Harpo. Because you know that Harpo is a Greek wizard. It's not Renaissance, since the hag letter, the letter with the map with the hag, the art style was of that. And you start trying to piece it together. You're looking at the code and the art, the style, the artistic expression of facial characteristics and body poses. You can decipher that the poem, at least this one note, is Middle Eastern.
I'm gonna look over and see Leon get summoned something that looks really old, and bear in mind, as a player, this is a total joke. But I'm going to think as hard as I can. Sword of Gryffindor!
Yep, nope. That is not something you need.
Darn it! And then with that, I'm gonna go sit down at the table. And I guess I'll think in that case, give me Jaeger Schnitzel.
Sure.
This is ancient Middle Eastern text or something?
No, actually, it would be. So technically, you can't read it at all.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know what it is.
I didn't think about that. Technically, you are not able to read it.
With like kind of studying with like, I feel like this is like Middle East, ancient Middle Eastern, but I don't know what it says basically.
Yep.
Ooh, and depending on the language, you wouldn't even be able to look at that with context clues and be able to tell what it was.
I think we talked about this. Even though I won't have any kind of context clues because I know Egyptian.
Yes, you do know ancient Egyptian, but it's not the same.
But that's okay.
It's not the same.
Okay. To note as well, it's like with just passing time now that we're done, like all the important notes that I have, like I've done, like with the Chimera, like all the notes that I've been doing so far, I'm gonna rip it off of my journal.
Okay.
And then writing it in arcane ink.
Okay.
In my journal.
Understood.
Invisible hand.
As you cast the invisible hand on there.
Like basically, like like especially important notes
that
I don't want people finding out. Like my notes about Median, my notes about the what's this called? The Horcrux.
Oh, Leon's allowed to keep secrets, but God forbid Griswold tries to polymorph his cactus. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Up what you were doing.
I mean, you see me writing it,
I'm
and then it
totally
goes
kidding.
invisible. And then it goes invisible.
I
Wow,
think
is this
you're
the big?
kidding? I'm just letting you know.
Is this the beginning of Tom Riddle's journal?
Oh Lord.
No, that
Oh,
already
please
started.
no.
That's already started.
Yeah.
And yes.
Okay. So,
Jesus, I guess since I'm controlling Bones for this session, can you give me control of Bones,
Yeah.
please? Okay. And then, I don't know, what would Bones be doing here? What would Bones wish for on seeing everyone else conjure something into being via the Room of Requirement?
I think she would just probably a book that she was currently reading. You can see her just reading a novella.
or her probably wanting
It's just
like
not-
some more of those flashbang.
Shoot, what was
Sure. Yeah, she gets some of those.
what was that? What
Wait,
was that?
how
book
many
that she
more,
was
though?
reading?
I'll add in her sheet in a minute.
I don't
Okay.
remember. What was that book that she was reading? That one little spicy half ogre or something like that.
Oscar.
Scar.
Yeah.
Maybe she's reading a sequel.
She's reading the sequel of
Oh
Oscar.
boy.
Okay, here's
See her
another.
blush
We're
on
all
her book,
reading
kind
it,
of just
by the
like.
way.
Here's another thing. Research purposes. This is not like item purposes as well. Information. Yeah, I can roll if you need.
Okay.
Something to decipher the ancient Middle Eastern text. Like
I
a
would-
book that maybe I can help decipher it.
Since I'm sitting close enough, I'd probably like lean over and be like, "What's your right?" And then see that and be like, "I think Sonya's got a spell for that." I think, maybe Sonya, do you, the thing that lets you understand my druidic. What is that?
We'll get to you in a
Comprehend?
second, Jess.
Comprehend
So you don't have
languages?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Do that on the thing.
On the thing.
On the
On
thing.
the thing.
Please.
Sonya, do the
There you
thing.
go.
Jesus, the one thing I could think of that I think Bones would try to get from the room
Mhm.
is she'd look at her history tome, that giant book that she always like looks at, and be like, I wish I could get a better one of these. Like, I don't know, +1 history maybe?
A book does not appear.
Ah, darn. I tried, Bones. You can look back on this session and know I tried.
Okay, wait, before I help Leon, I want to see how OP this room.
Oh no! I already figured it out! I got 1,000 gold worth of rare ungent oils. It's nuts. Which is why I'm telling you not to abuse it that much. But
This is the
Last
full
time.
session. The
Last
room of
time.
requirements.
yeah, we're all saying last
Requiring
time.
art items.
Last time. Last time for me.
What do you?
Sonya's gonna of the orb of the Dragon King that we lost to Artie.
No, that's not gonna happen.
That
like,
does
nah.
not- no.
I was just like,
That
let me
one
just
does.
try.
You no,
That'd
actually.
break the game.
Since we lost it, we don't know where Artie is. We don't know where the thing is.
One does
and it was
appear.
brought up-
In the
There's more
middle.
than one of them?
One appears.
Yes, there's more than one of them.
Shit. Did we
Well,
just
this
steal
was like
from the
some
ministry?
legendary artifact.
Did we steal from the ministry?
What color is it?
It's multicolored.
Bones will look at that and I guess try to history check it and
Does
see
that
like,
look like?
it
yeah,
does
I
not,
think
doesn't
she
that look
probably-
like the one that she's interacted
Roll
with
me
before.
perception, all of you guys.
Sure.
I broke it.
Perception, even me?
Sure.
Ooh! I got a good one.
What'd you get?
I got a 19.
Okay.
Not good enough.
Nope,
but-
I'm busy studying that one.
No. I'm busy studying.
What's Bones' perception? +2. Bones got an 11, and
Okay.
then I don't have my shield out. It's on my back. I'm not sure if that gives me advantage.
It's.
I always ask anyway.
Sure. I mean, it's equipped. Sure. It's fine. What'd you get,
Oh.
Sonya? What'd you get, Jericho?
24.
Okay.
Crap.
Okay. What'd you get?
It's in that one, but total 5 anyway.
Thank you.
Just
21.
so you know, if it matters.
Okay.
21.
Okay, so Griswold, Sonya, and Jericho. First of all, it looks identical. As you're looking at it, though, it doesn't have a certain like presence to it. It looks too mundane.
Oh. It's a replica.
It's a rep.
I'm sorry, I'm saying that as a player. Like,
if anyone
we would
grabs
know.
and touches it, it weighs like an iron ball. It's like 50 pounds. It's heavy.
I'm just picturing it like dropping onto the table from thin air and making tilt.
It was worth a shot.
I'm gonna look to Spine Roll and be like, Spine Roll, what's your favorite food?
Blood.
No, like actual food. Please don't try to conjure blood into us. But like, if you like,
Blood appears on a puddle.
Like, I'll be like, you like the stuff that the herbology professor gave me, right? The Spine Roll feed? Okay. And I guess I'll think for that and see if I can get like some more.
A clump of dirt appears. Sure.
Oh Jesus! That's all it is dirt. It's really fancy dirt.
It's really fancy dirt.
Oh my God. Okay. I'll hold it over to Spine Roll and be like, hey Spine Roll, you want dinner?
And just absorbed into its flesh.
I'm just gonna think of that same dirt, but in a bag.
Sure. It appears.
Okay. I'm just gonna cram that.
I would feel that that's something that you both would want, so enough for the room to make one appear.
Okay, and I'm just gonna cram that into my bag of holding, and
Sure.
I am, like, I think I'm at about half capacity on my bag presently.
Okay.
But that's because I want to say the skeletons take up a lot of space.
Yes, Neff.
Okay, so I don't think that this happened last game, so I'm just gonna RP it right now.
Yeah.
Neff is gonna look over to Leon and say, "Hey, by the way, you weren't by us when the Howler came."
Thank you.
Mhm.
Because we're just gonna let that one go, right? Yes.
I wasn't gonna let it go.
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard what it said, but it read something completely different. Can't hear you.
I heard what it said.
Yeah, it read, or when you read it, it was completely different. It's from the minister. And basically what he said was, we need to cut the head off the wolf, off the alpha, as proof, I guess. But not to kill the others, because they'll become disorganized. I remember that word. I wrote it down. Disorganized. And once we have finished the deed, we send a letter saying howl or bite if we need assistance or need help.
And not to die.
I believe it was bite if we encountered a problem.
Oh.
Like,
well,
major problem. And also,
Well,
I did delete the screenshot, Jesus.
I have notes of it. Like, I fully know what
okay.
said, but roleplay wise, I don't.
Yeah, so Neff is just totally like giving you an expedition dump.
Look, send it to who?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I don't believe it was to the minister himself. I think it was...
like, Griswold is like, I swear it was the secretary. Like, that's what I'm remembering.
I don't think it was secretary. I don't remember reading secretary. That's the only thing. It was some sort of keeper. I don't know, because I remember reading keeper and I was like, oh, like Quidditch?
Keeper was in there.
Can I roll kind of like history? Maybe I'll find it.
I'll say because you weren't reading it.
Sure.
I'll give you that because you have no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
Like, because I work at the ministry, so maybe
you can roll some history with the disadvantage.
Okay. Nice. Come on.
Not that big of a disadvantage, Jeremiah. Just a normal disadvantage.
Come on, Tyler Claw, work for me. Work your magic. Oh, it's a 16 and a 17. So yes! I mean, a 16 and a 15. So I'll take the 15 plus 4, 19.
Lol. DC was 25.
Lol. DC was 20.
you're thinking the only place that makes sense for it to go in a department that will just get lost and just read, and when it's read incorrectly, just be like, all right, throw it away, discard it essentially easily. Would you feel that would be the 3rd floor record keeping location, like the underside of the courts?
Yes. I think that.
Maybe the keeper in the ministry. I think that's what it is.
Keeper in the ministry? The record keeper?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I wouldn't say
maybe
record keeper as a yeah.
It's not a person as more as a department itself.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to make sure you said record keeper so that we know.
Oh.
A place where everything gets recorded, even if it's an error or a joke or a threat.
I mean, threats should be recorded.
Yeah,
but
the ministry gets a lot of threats.
Griswold will finish his Jaeger Schnitzel, look over his spine roll, see that he's
Griswold,
content.
you finished it? Roll me Constitution.
What? Wait, what? Why?
You're drinking. What are you drinking?
Alcohol.
Alcohol?
No, Jaeger Schnitzel, not Jägermeister. Jaeger Schnitzel is it's schnitzel with a mushroom sauce on it. It's food.
Okay.
Yeah,
I assume it was liquor.
I know.
Me too.
Everyone thinks Jaeger. Like Jaeger means hunter in German, and so hunter schnitzel is like it's schnitzel with like mushroom sauce, and like it's delicious. When I was
liquor.
over there.
Okay, no,
anyway,
okay. So never mind. Okay, then you're good. You're good.
It's food.
Your tummy is satisfied, same as Neff's. Good tummies.
And I'll look over at spine roll and I'll be like, picture in my mind, 4th level spell jam charged, please.
No.
And that is my last attempt.
That is nothing that you need.
Yeah, no, I need it. I want to train spine rolls.
I need a +3 armor.
Yeah. It's not. No. Especially because it's something you can acquire pretty easily, so no.
Oh, well, yeah, for like 5,000 gold or something, nothing like that.
You have 1,000 gold worth of oils now.
5,000 gold. I was like, I need 5,000 gold.
Yeah, no, you already gave me enough. That's fine. That's fine.
That doesn't appear. Yeah.
I was like, I need a new leather jacket.
So, as much as you guys want to keep abusing the room, is there anything else you want or need to do here?
I was just gonna like spend the rest of the day with spine roll, maybe like giving him a and like kind of showing him off to students, I guess.
Sure.
But other than that, after that, I'd come back to the room, assuming we can get back to it, and call it a night.
Are you guys gonna spend the night here?
Invisibility.
So, are you guys leaving the room and then coming back later?
No, I'm gonna be here the whole time.
Okay.
I'm studying.
We're planning on
Basically, that's me. Basically, like.
Okay, so is anyone leaving the room at all? That's what I need to know.
Not right now. Sonya was gonna do a comprehend language for whatever Leon needed.
Okay. When you cast comprehend languages, it says exactly the poem, just in an older language.
Okay.
And because comprehend languages, you really won't be able how the spell works. You just read it. It's not like you understand what the language was. But okay, so Griswold, you're the only one leaving, right?
I'm just taking a walk with my cactus, okay? Like he's my boy.
I will say that before we go on break, as you step outside several hours after everything's been happening, you and Spine roll hand in hand. It's cute, see as it can be. You hear your stomach just rumble, and you feel that pain of like, oh, I miss a couple lunches.
But I just ate.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, the food doesn't actually fill you. I say as a player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess, like, magic and me being dumb. Yeah, I'd just be like, oh, well, I guess that food didn't work. Good berry. And
Sure. You good berry, you're full. You're satisfied.
Wait, did the dirt actually work for, like, I'll turn and ask Spinal and be like, are you still hungry, bud?
I feel satisfied.
So the dirt did work.
He didn't ask for dirt. You asked for dirt.
Whatever. I'll roll with it, and yeah, I'll give Spinal a tour.
All right, you give him a tour of the castle, and
Yeah.
with that, and you guys planning on what you're gonna do the next day, or prepare for that, we'll go on break, and we'll be back in a bit. So, we'll see y'all in a minute, y'all. Y'all in a minute, y'all. There you go.
Y'all in a minute, y'all.
There you go.
It's very Texan.
Super Texan right here. So, as you guys are resting in the room. As Griswold is returning, I'll say for the sake of this and just for expediency, so we're not going to just be here getting free magic shit all the time. You guys arrive, full rest, spells, HP, etc. that you need to replenish.
Oh, so I came back and rested. Okay.
Yeah. So, as the next morning... Yeah, check the calendar. What's up?
Jesus. Before I went to sleep, so I don't have to waste a spell the next... Can I do a sending spell?
Who are you sending the sending spell to?
Thomas.
Okay. What do you send this? What do you say?
Don't be dead, don't be dead, don't be dead, don't be dead, don't be dead. Sorry, that's not the spell. Anyway.
25 words of that.
Don't be dead.
Are you okay? We were so close. We're coming back to the forest.
You cut out on the last word.
Coming back.
That's the only word you cut out on. Tomorrow?
We're coming back to the forest soon.
The forest is not safe. Are you like still in my head or something?
I love him. Yeah, that's gonna be
Okay.
I'll tell you when the next morning or after that. Be like, he's still alive. We need to go help him when we go back in the forest. And
Alrighty. So full rest, etc. I'll say that for the purposes of the room, beds appear with the specific pillow that you guys would require, and blankets and odd temperatures, and maybe even a ceiling fan if you need the white noise or whatever.
I'm curious what bedding appears for spine roll, just out of sheer curiosity. Is it a pile of dirt, or is it sand? Or...
I mean,
pile of dirt.
With Leon can pretty much sleep kind of anywhere because he travels. But since what he really requires is some bougie ass shit. Noble background.
We're talking. He's got the topper on top of it, like veils. He oh man, this thing fancy.
And then Dumbledore goes to his room. Where's my bed?
Oh, no.
So.
Hey Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Early morning, once Jericho's fully rested or whatever, he's just gonna be waiting for everybody outside near the dark forest, just staring into it, just trying to get his mindset prepared.
Being edgy as fuck.
Being edgy as fuck.
I'll say that everybody wakes up closer to like 7, 8, and Jericho is nowhere to be seen. I'll just put you outside the room for the purposes of this.
Jesus, I do want to note, next morning as I'm preparing spells, I'm swapping Ice Storm for Fire, Wall of Fire.
Okay, cool. Yes, Jess.
As soon as Neff sees that Jericho's not with the party, she's going to look around in a panic and be like, where is he? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where's Jericho? And if nobody has an idea, or nobody speaks up...
Did he go by himself again? Bloody hell.
Neff is gonna bolt.
Yeah, I'm gonna start running. Not really run, but fast walk. I don't want to look suspicious or anything.
She's flat out running.
You go.
Wait. If I look at the window, is it the outside? Can that window be opened and to be outside?
Yeah, you actually, when you try to open it, does not open.
It's an illusion.
Okay.
Yeah, and you do notice that it's almost like the same. It's not like the same 5 seconds over and over again, but it kind of feels like a long, slow, like rotating, like picture frame or something, or like it's
like a security camera on a 4-second delay.
Yeah,
it's just like, but it's like seamless, so it doesn't look like it. But you get the idea.
You see the outside, and you see the temperature, and like what is outside, but you don't see the actual outside of the castle.
Yeah, I will leave, and as soon as I basically go to the grounds, ride my broom to be faster.
Okay, you sure do.
I just don't want to be suspicious or something.
No problem. Okay.
I'm a professor. To be
so
professional.
who? So Neff and Leon have left, right?
Yes,
Okay, I'll say that this is like 7 in the morning. Bones, Sonya, and Griswold. Do you guys? You see them getting up in a hurry, leaving. As Jericho, you'll probably beat them by an hour, maybe hour 30. What about the rest of you guys? Do you immediately leave, or do you stay in your room?
I have to take an hour in the morning to prepare my spells by Raw. So, and I assume Bones has the same, like,
Bones
I assume
doesn't
he's
need
not going to rotate anything.
Well, Bones can't. That's why sorcerers are like, I'm done. Wake up,
Okay.
done.
Okay, that's cool as shit. Like, yeah, Bones will go after him, absolutely. But yeah, I'm gonna stay back, assume they're going towards the forest. Like, that's genuinely like, that's our objective.
Yeah.
Freaking
So,
Neff is 10 feet ahead of me.
Yeah, Neff.
I'll tell
and 30.
Spinroll to follow Bones, and I'll catch up when I can. And I will take that hour, prepare my spells, and then leave afterwards. So I guess I'll be moving last.
Sure. Sonya, what about you?
I'll go with Bones and Spiral.
All right.
Wherever they.
So if everybody's going, I'll say that by like.
Oh, I'm taking the crystal ball, by the way.
You're taking the crystal ball? Yeah, of course.
Yes.
By the time that you all appear, I do need every single one of you guys to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Con save.
Just I don't
Con
think.
plus 1. Can.
Wait, actually, I don't think they need to roll the saving throw. I'm sorry. I would have done this when I went back into. I cast Good Berry. It gave me 10 berries. I would have just flat up been like, by the way, food doesn't work.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't eat in there.
I would have definitely.
That would still have to do it.
That would still have
I
to.
am
Yeah.
sorry for metaing like hell, but that's exactly what Griswold would have done.
Do you? I'll move the puppies as GM layers for the purposes of this. Your bat's no longer with you. Is your owl with you?
Oh, he's in the
Okay.
So do they still need to roll the save, or did I
Technically, you'll mitigate
that?
it, but I wanna see how this role plays. If you rolled below a 10, let me know.
I mean, the Good Berry nourishes for 24 hours.
Yes, it does.
Oh, mine was a 19.
Then actually, Griswold, you do not have to roll. So nobody rolled below a 10. You're all really, really, really fucking hungry, except for Griswold, and then Good Berries, and none of you are hungry anymore.
Well, no, I cast the Good Berry when I took Spinroll on the walk.
Yes.
And I had 9 more. I had given the rest to them when I got back.
Yes. So
Yeah,
you all eat the Good Berry. It's not casted, but you all do eat it. Cool.
But that was like in retrospect.
Yes.
But that's exactly what I would have done when I got back.
Sure.
But
okay. So yeah.
So we were hungry.
We were hungry, but Good Berry fixes everything.
yes, of course.
Okay. So I'll say that. For the purposes of this, as you guys are fairly early in the morning, depending on how this day is going to go, I am going to change the music because it's too happy-go-lucky. You can't have happy music in like.
Happy in the Forbidden Forest.
Are we in the Forbidden Forest, or are we right on the border?
You're right at the border.
Okay, so I guess as I'm walking up to it, I'm gonna look around and make sure there's no students within earshot besides, like, our party. And I'm gonna be like, okay. So does anyone know how to actually... Because I'm totally drawing a blank.
How to what?
Okay.
How to fight a werewolf.
And I have to reset because there is a glitch.
Okay.
So continue. Sorry.
I was saying, like, does anyone know how to fight a werewolf? I'm blanking on it, and I'll look to both Neff and Jericho, be like,
Silver.
Yeah, I think we need. Do we have any silver?
I'll be like, y'all have.
I pulled up my mall.
If my recap that I got when Griswold joined the party, it was completely fluid. I'd be like, y'all fought a werewolf before. Do enchanted weapons work? And I'm just gonna hold up my staff, my staff.
Alpha before.
Yeah. I know. I'm saying, does enchanted staff do the boop properly, or does it?
Magic works.
Okay.
From what I recall, it works in silver.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
I
that
had no
said,
issue with my spell.
Do not get bit.
I mean,
do not get bit because you may get the curse.
I have no intention of getting close enough. But then I'll look.
What if it was a kink?
Right, like
Out of
my fetish.
character.
But I'll look to Sonya, Jericho, and Bones, and I'll say, where are those banshees?
Can we get like a general direction of where we came from?
Yes, and I actually roll me survival as a premeditated memory, and I accidentally deleted the map. I need to put that map on here. So you guys will see me do that live.
I have a way to give the survival roll advantage if you'd like.
That's a hard sell for me. What is it?
I'm going to cast Speak with Plants and ask the oldest looking tree, is there something further in the forest that it looks like a tree that's got a, like, because I'm sure Sonya would have.
I told you.
Yeah. So I know what it looks like. The old, like, skull looking, like, tree encampment looking thing. And then, assuming it knows, I would say, can you give me a general cardinal direction?
I'll
go ahead and burn a 3rd level spell slot for this.
Sure, I'll say it gives you advantage, as it will guide you at least in a cardinal direction versus, like,
There you go.
Sure.
Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah, what'd you get on survival, Sonya? Where is it?
22. I got a 19 plus 30.
You do know that last time it took y'all several hours, and you guys ran in a panic. As you have a vague idea of where it'll be, as in, like, you think you can get there. They can get there pretty. Yeah, you're pretty sure you can get there. But it's a long way. That you guys stumbled upon it after what, 5-6 hours of.
No, it was longer.
When you got back, sorry. You stumbled upon it within 10 hours. To find your way back home was about 5 hours or so. So it will take you, with a lot of luck, it'll take you about the same.
I'll look to Sonya on hearing that, assuming she tells me.
Yes.
And I'll look back to the tree and be like, do you know of any humans that get kind of furry? Teeth-like and scary looking and all that stuff in the woods somewhere? Can we get, like, maybe a pointer in that direction? Tell it to the grass if you'd like. I've got 10 minutes on this one.
I'll
set that to the side.
You do.
I feel bad. I feel like I'm
to
using
move
this
a lot.
They tend to move a lot.
Yeah.
And I'll look to Sonya and I'll tell her what it said, because I don't think anyone else can hear the tree talk except me. And I'll say, is there any way you can get a bead on this alpha? Like, y'all have interacted with him before. I'll look to Jericho specifically from the recap I got when I made Griswold, and say, you especially so. Is there any way we can draw a tighter bead on this guy? Because the trees are saying they move a lot.
They do move a lot. I remember I did face the so.
Josh, lean a little closer to your mic just so I can hear you. You cut out a little bit, but I got the gist of your message.
Yeah, Jericho's just saying, yeah, they do move around a lot. He doesn't know exactly which direction or how.
I could probably.
Sorry, Neff.
I
You
could
had your head
look
up
at
for a
some.
while.
Yeah, I could probably look at some tracks or something, see what I can see, but we're just gonna have to.
I can try and howl and bring some of them closer.
Well, we're still right at we're still right at the entrance of the forest. We should probably, like, I'm saying this in character, we should probably wait until we're at least, out of sight of the school before we really start digging into this. But I was just trying to get a general idea of direction to go.
Yes, no.
Okay. I'm kind of backing up a little bit. As soon as Neff sees Jericho, because I'm assuming Neff would be one of the first, if not Leon, she's going to literally walk up to him and kind of put her hand on his shoulder and be like, "What was that?"
Oh no, because as soon as we get to the grounds, I was gonna be in my broom, so I'll be probably catching up to you because you're moving faster to me indoors, and then I catch up on you. It was like,
okay, so
why are you?
I'm gonna look at Jericho and be like, "What was that? I thought we said we were doing this together. Why didn't you wake us up, or why did you leave without us?"
I'm standing here. I didn't go anywhere. I'm technically on school grounds.
I was gonna.
Technically.
Okay, Leon was gonna start lecturing Jericho, and then he said that. I was like, bloody hell, you're right.
Neff is literally gonna look at him and like punch his arm, not in a "I'm gonna hurt you" way, but enough that he gets the point, and I'm gonna be like, "You were supposed to at least tell us where you're going. Come on, man, we're a team."
As 100 points of physical damage.
As Bones and Spineroll roll up, you hear Spineroll say, "Why are we running?" And then, as he reaches the rest of the party and just kind of looks around, he goes, "I am ready," and just like it hits the side of Neff's leg, just like not doing damage, but
at this point, Neff is still fuming a bit, so she doesn't even feel it. She's just like,
"Oh, I think she casted rage."
Jericho's
mild rage, like mild rage.
Mild rage, yes.
A little baby tantrum.
Jericho's gonna tiptoe a little bit and like pat her head, be like, "It's okay. Didn't go that far. I'm fine."
Don't do that. Sonya comes in, like, "I told you he's fine."
As Griswold
leisurely strolls.
Griswold obviously isn't gonna walk up for this interaction, but yeah, I'll get there eventually.
I'm gonna put a fairy on Jericho and just basically talk to the fairy, stay on him. Like, even though it's not really gonna help me track Jericho, but that's it.
Yeah, you see the fairy as they get on there, like, I don't know.
Neff is slowly going, like she's trying to do some woosah breaths and stuff to calm down.
Like if Jericho rolls a 30 on stealth, like, I'm not gonna see him, and the fairy's not gonna help. He's just, it's
gonna be there.
Play.
It's gonna be there.
It's gonna be there.
But Neff is just gonna be like, "Next time, can you please just let me know that you're leaving or you're going ahead of us, so I at least know where you are, man. I don't want my friends to get hurt." And then Nef is gonna start like rage crying.
Rage
She
crying.
is rage crying.
She's so
That's
angry
That's
that
the title
she's
of
crying.
the episode. Rage crying.
Rage crying.
This is why
I'm gonna look at Jericho. You did this.
No, Professor, you did this.
I'm staying out of this.
Oh my god.
If I can deduct points for Hufflepuff, I will. But I can't in this situation.
I mean, you totally can. We are still on school grounds.
And then, yeah.
Well, technically.
But eventually, Griswold will roll up, and the conversation with the trees and the students will happen.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, so we have a general cardinal direction for the Banshees to help Tomos, and we know that the werewolves keep moving. With this in mind, I'll look back to Leon and be like, you agree with me? We should probably just start venturing in a general direction and let the... I don't want to say we'll let the werewolf find us, but maybe help Tomos before, because we're going to be in the forest for a few...
If someone's life is in danger, I think we should get to that first.
Yeah,
I'll
that's pretty bad.
I'll look at the students and be like, y'all want to help Tomos?
Yes.
Okay. I'll look to Jericho and be like, you were closest. You sure he's there?
I just heard a voice. I didn't see any.
It sound like
Buddy.
Tomos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw the bugs from his like pride and joy. So
I know it's called the Forbidden. I know it's called the Forbidden Forest, but is this a mountain? Or...
there are hilly. I know that the Forbidden at like the summit of like a mountainous region of Scotland. That I know. But I don't know if Jesus will give it to
the
you.
mountain, technically.
But
it's like I know
that
it's called
said,
the forest.
It is considered a different type of terrain entirely, because it is more akin to. Yeah, we'll say it's a forest. Sure, it's something different, but we'll say it's a forest.
I'll look to Neff and say, Neff, get the heading you need from Sonya. I'll collaborate with my plant friend here and pat the side of this really old tree, and hope that he doesn't take offense to that. And let's head towards the Banshees.
Okay. If that is the case, I will need.
Everyone's in agreement, assuming everyone's okay with it.
Yes.
And on the way, Jericho's gonna keep an eye out for werewolf
Okay.
trackings or markings.
Neff is literally looking at any sort of tracks or markings. Or anything.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna prep something kind of because of roleplay wise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave one fairy for each party member to prep my mind link.
Okay. As the fairy plans on each party member.
Can you prep innate abilities?
It's not because of RP wise. Like I RP'd it as a fairy going to you for me to link. Like innate ability, it's not really. I can just look at you and then speak to you telepathically. But because of roleplay, that's how I roleplay.
So as long as you have a line of sight, you can establish the link. Gotcha.
Within 80 feet.
Okay.
Within 80 feet. Gotcha.
With this, I will need you guys to perform a skill challenge to see if you guys can make it there. And one of the skills has to be survival. Yes.
Before we go in, I'm gonna bring up Tito.
Okay.
For 8 hours, and I think Bones would do shield. I mean,
mage armor.
Mage armor. Yeah.
Bones would absolutely do mage armor. Yes. Thank you for reminding me, Sonya.
Yep.
Sorry.
I can do survival.
Okay, as I'm trying my best to get Tito out. I don't know why he's not showing up.
That's pretty good.
Maybe I deleted Tito instead of a... Okay,
Uh-oh.
let me give you a Tito. Okay. So,
There's my survival.
who is doing the first roll?
I rolled survival. I don't know when you needed that.
Oh, when I asked for it. So, don't pre-roll next time. But you're good.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, here's a Tito. You can control it. Okay, so so again, skill challenges. Everybody needs to go before we go again. One skill, it's either fail or succeed on that skill, cannot be used again. So the first one, Jess did survival. What did you get?
24.
24. Okay. I'll say for the purposes of this, Jess, what are you doing to scout out or survive in the forest? Like, how are you using the skill?
I am checking tracks, to see what's fresh, what's not in the area. Hopefully, being able to somewhat identify it, as well as using the headings Sonya gave to where the Banshees were.
Right. So as you're moving along and you start after an hour or two in, you actually start to notice a couple of tracks that seem almost to fit Jericho's shoe size, and you measure it and it's correct, and that gives you a good location as to where to go. And you guys are making good leeway, keeping out to make sure that there's nothing ill in the forest, poisonous or anything tracking you down either. And you seem to be, at least for the next 2 hours, about 10 in the morning at the moment, one skill got successfully done. Since we have 5 players, I want 4 successes. All right, who is next?
I want to do investigation, specifically kind of like traps, to see if any traps when we're trying to proceed to where we're going, so that we're not in danger. If there's any kind of traps from the werewolves or whatever, is that the thing?
Sure. Roll investigation.
Dirty. Oh no, not 32. 21.
21. As you're looking for traps, you don't find much. And then about like the 4th hour in or so, you do find some that were triggered, nothing in it. Or you see that it hasn't been reset, but these are more like hunter's traps.
Okay.
You don't elaborate ones for the design, but again triggered or unset or reset it. You don't really find anything dangerous, which is a good thing. But anything that you did find wouldn't have killed you, but it will definitely been in very inconvenience. With the multiple of you, you guys would have been able to get out if you were netted or anything or fell in a hole. But nothing dangerous at all. But there are some traps within the forest that again look like they were hunters. But yeah, successful. So good.
Can Sonya do perception?
Wrong perception. You are 2 for 2. 2 more, and you guys will get there with some positivity.
I mean, we also have
29.
29. As you are looking throughout, you don't see any danger. You don't feel that you're being trapped. After so we're at the 11ish in the morning. You guys, as you stop to rest for a little bit after a couple hours of walking, essentially, maybe a little snack here and there. You do find a pile of fairly clean humanoid bones.
Is it similar to the ones that we saw on the way out?
You didn't see those. Jericho saw those, I believe.
Yeah, you were on the broom with Bones.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know who saw them.
So you, for the first time, are seeing bones. Sonya.
Okay.
Is there anything that you want to do or say?
I'm just gonna point them out to everybody, and Jericho told me beforehand. I'll be like,
Oh.
the bones like saw.
I just looked at Sonya and be like, no, I have enough of those. We're good. We're all good.
So you guys see a couple of intact Humanoid skeletons. I'll say that you see like 4, actually. So I mean.
And there's
Tempting.
yeah, there's no.
Hmm?
Oh, like there's no way to tell the difference if it was a humanoid or a werewolf.
No, well, I mean no, because they unless they were a wolf formation.
Yeah.
You do see that the clothing on them looks very formal, very akin to something from the ministry.
Well,
yeah,
actually,
yeah, I'm gonna bring up that the howler. Be like, maybe these were the oars that.
You cut out.
Maybe these are the oars that the ministry sent that never.
They never made it back.
Oh yeah.
I will take this opportunity on encountering the bones to check my bag of holding and make sure that my skeletons and unguents are still there.
Oh yeah, of course. As soon as you reach in there, nothing's there.
Nothing's there?
Yep, you don't have skeletons in the bag of holding. You do have one skeleton in the bag of holding.
I have 2.
2 skeletons in your bag of holding.
Okay, but I don't have 5.
Nope, you do not have 5.
Okay, well then
Nor
I will.
do you have? And you were looking for what else?
The oils and unguents for incarnate.
That's in there.
That's not in there? Okay. Okay, well I will remove these from my bag of and then I'll say, okay, yep, stuff we kept from the room doesn't work now. Because my stuff is gone.
No, I'm gonna go look in that bag.
There is no crystal ball.
And then, as we happen upon the skeletons, I will, if it's okay, I'll do the next check. And I'm gonna try to justify this, and if it's not bueno, that's fine.
Before you do, in this, for the sake of complete honesty here, there is no arcanic ink or 10 gold in anyone's sheets. No crystal
Except
ball.
Mine. And Neff's.
The ones that had yes.
Yeah.
No materials for the incarnate. No potion. Leon, as you look, no fancy dirt either. No, if anyone pocketed the boar of a dragonkind, it's not there.
Damn it.
Leon, as soon as you look through your notebook, all your pages are torn, and the spell is no longer on it. Because the ink you used was ink from the room. So it does not come out.
Well, at least you didn't throw it. I can just rewrite it.
Okay. And then for the next check, if it's okay,
yes, please.
I'd like to do medicine on the grounds that I don't think Griswold has encountered a banshee before, but since we're on top of a pile of bones that might have interacted with said banshees at one point, I want to do medicine to try and see if maybe something undead-ish might have because undead is my bread and butter.
Sure, roll me medicine.
Sure. $26.
26. I will say, for the sake of this, you will learn something really important, but this in of itself does not push you forward on the skill checks.
Wait, that's what I was trying for.
I know, but it won't.
Okay. Okay.
You see that this was not anything necrotic or in of effect of magical properties to you. This looks more when you're looking at the bone itself, seeing how clean it was, it's almost like the bones weren't even touched, and if they were, you see slight little bits of jagged bite marks throughout. So this was literally chewed clean.
I will relay this to the rest of the party and be like, well, I don't think a banshee would chew on its prey. And if it did, I don't think it would leave bite marks.
You know what? No, sure. I'll let that one go. Yeah. So you'll only need one more skill after this. Yeah, because I can see how that would be useful information. So if you guys identify that in a way, then cool. But yeah, there you go. What is the last skill, potentially?
Let me check Bones' sheet. Investigation's already been done.
Jericho, do you have anything? It'll be either Jericho or Bones. And I'll prefer if it's Josh, since he's physically here. So he has
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I don't think I'm good at it. Still.
If you can persuade me how stealth would be a thing that would be useful into finding where you need to go.
Just talk to him sultry.
Yeah.
So seduce him.
Seduce me.
Hard.
Yes.
What'd you say?
No.
Yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You say? You say you were telling me.
Go ahead, Josh.
Give you a couple of seconds, and then I'll
He's
count that as
intimidating me.
and I'll count that as a fail if you don't have anything out.
Oh,
And I roll stealth, being
Mhm.
follow, or not being caught by anybody, or something in that area.
Sure, roll me stealth.
28.
28. As you are moving
Goodness.
in a almost invisible way, as your party members don't see you until you stand still and say something or motion to them, and they start getting the hints of evading, trying to follow your lead, trying to also be as stealthy as you are, in the way to not be followed or spotted. I'll say that will slow you down for a bit. In about the 6th hour, you guys think you're about in the area where this was happening. So it'll be
Quick question:
1 in the afternoon. Yes.
is this a magical terrain? This is considered magical terrain.
It is considered magical terrain.
God damn it!
It is more akin to the Feywild than anything on the Earth.
Because I was gonna say landstride.
It's considered magical terrain. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Oops.
You actually, y'all can roll me history on that.
That includes Bones.
I would say that Jericho, sorry, Leon, you get advantage.
Okay. I'll take the 19, so 23.
Okay.
I got a 14.
That's a fail, fortunately. What did you get, Neff?
I
5?
got 5.
Nope. Alright.
Bones got an 18.
That's also a fail.
Really?
24.
24 is a pass.
I got
What'd you get?
22.
Okay, so you three would have to thank Marilyn for this whole place being enchanted and essentially reshaping everything.
Merlin. Oh boy.
This forest became magical after Merlin was involved.
Really?
That drunken.
That drunken man, yeah.
that
A drunken man that I didn't know was bald. I always assumed he had long, luxurious hair, but no, he was bald apparently.
That's what I assumed too, but
First is an awesome show.
that was a good show. Anyway,
So
not sponsored.
yeah, sponsor us. No. Yeah, you would know, Leon, that this is the area is definitely not something you can track. For the purposes of your natural ability.
Yeah.
So I would say about 6 hours, so about 1 p.m. or so. You do stumble upon maybe 100 feet or so away from you, a large tree that looks like it has a skull embedded in it.
Burn it down. Burn it down.
No. Okay. Before we get any closer,
Mm-hmm.
Sonya's gonna emphasize these banshees detect life.
Burn it down.
But
come on.
I thought Thomas was in there.
I'm
Why
gonna
burn
Yeah,
the tree?
we're not
Fireball.
We're not burned.
I'm gonna look over to Spine Roll, and I'm gonna say, "All right, bud, you ready? Because these are ghostly things, and is Spine Roll considered magical? Like, are his hits considered magical, or is it just physical? Because he's like
Physical.
being a living plant."
He's not a. His fists are not considered magical. They're.
Got you. Okay. So I'm gonna tell Spine Roll, I'm gonna be like, you might not do so well against Banshees. Do me a favor, and just go. I'm gonna point to my left at a big tree, and I guess cause I can't see past things. I'll point at this tree over here, and I'll be like, I want you to go over there and just stand real still. Okay? And I don't want you to be in danger. Okay, I understand you want to punch things. These things cannot be punched.
If they cannot be punched, then it is useless, and we will all die.
Of course.
Of course.
You would die horribly, but we have ways to deal with it that don't involve punching.
All of us will die.
No, not all of us. Not all of us.
No end in sight.
You-
As you see him, sorry, where did you point to exactly?
I pointed to this tree, bottom left.
As you see that he's already walking there, completely pointless. We will all die.
Just stay there until I tell you it's okay, okay?
Just to describe the area, as you see that this maybe about 20 minutes or so before you approach here, the woods started becoming darker. You actually started seeing large amounts of clouds covering the sun. Even it's still daylight, you can still see clearly, obviously, but there's just a shade around this. You also start seeing fog emanate, kind of unprovoked, just here and there, just little just stuck to the ground, just like this heavy fog, just like boom, just there. And as you keep approaching, it gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and to the point where you are now, everything you see all around you is complete fog. As this is definitely not the sounds that you need.
I will quickly look to Leon after Spine Roll walks over to that tree and be like, can you track living plants by any chance?
No.
Damn.
I am going to do something. Just in case.
One second, sorry.
Just basically to know if we're. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we're in the correct area, but I want to have a sense of what's our threat.
Sure.
And because what?
Oh, okay. You guys already have vision. Okay. Okay.
We have dark vision currently.
Perfect. Okay, cool. I forgot I already pre-planned that. Okay. I was like, fuck, I need to give you guys vision. Never mind, you already have dark vision. Good. Dark vision.
Primal awareness.
And Jericho's gonna cast, due to his previous encounter with these guys, Jericho's gonna cast comprehend languages. Who knows what they're saying?
Bones cast mage armor as we came in here at about 7, right? And it's currently
she has 2 more hours.
Yeah.
I remember it being like 1 o'clock. I'd say
so she still has
3 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll set a dice for it, but I just wanted to be sure. Okay, that's Bones' mage armor dice.
Want to check one thing really quick. So you expended your slot, right?
Yeah. Level 1 slot.
What are you looking for?
To sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elemental, phase, fiends, or undead are present within 1 mile of you.
Oh, it's and not or, so like it has all of them. Yeah, definitely. You sense that there is one of those things within this area for sure.
Okay.
Do we see the skull tree at this range?
No, just because of the thickness of the fog. But Sonya, you know that it's in front of you.
Yeah, I remember the log. Specifically where we hid for a while. So yeah, barely out of sight.
As you guys, at this moment, I will say, Griswold, Sonya, and Leon for sure. You guys see through the fog, just like almost a thin cut, just kind of separate the fog, and then it reforms again.
Oh, Sonya's gonna be like, hey, wait, one more thing. If you hear something, cover your ears. Really, really quick. Like, yeah, like, I know it won't help, but in her mind, she's trying to be helpful. For a whale.
Okay.
Put my fairies as an earplug, no?
Hey, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if this works. I'm gonna say I need to not hear it, right? And look to Sonya.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cast Deafness targeting myself.
Okay. Do you choose to fail?
I choose to fail.
Alright, you are deaf and you can no longer hear.
I am deaf. Okay. I'm just gonna look over to her and just thumbs up. Just.
She knew you casted it, right?
Yeah. Like, I have to, like. Here, hold on.
Cool.
Let me pull up Blindness Nephthys. It is a verbal component, so you're gonna hear me.
So, guys, what do you do? After Griswold casts his spell, you see the wand. As he says some words and his wand glows a little bit.
I'm gonna do half movement because I'm gonna stealth it.
Roll me stealth.
Yeah.
The
not 20.
Okay.
22.
22, that's good.
23.
Okay. As you guys do not hear Jericho, Leon, and some of you took a little second to like, where did he go? Oh shit, there he is. Unless he's specifically like hiding somewhere. But your movements are extremely quiet for sure.
Oh, actually,
I'm just gonna move there.
as I see Leon move forward, I am going to say rather like I'm deaf currently.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this only lasts a minute. I'm going to say to Leon as he moves forward, let me bait him out, and it's rather loud because I'm deaf. I'm not used to being hit by my own deafness.
Sure.
So I'm going to opt to step forward as well.
Stepping over
that's
log. Okay.
And
what about
basically just perceive, just kind of look. I'm just
perception?
being quiet, trying to be quiet.
Okay.
Perception. That is a 22.
You see fog everywhere.
Very thick fog.
Yeah, pretty much just white, thick fog. What about to give the four of you?
But I see something. I see this. I see that.
Well, now you do see the skull
Because
tree.
Because I moved.
Yes.
And since I moved up along with him, I assume I also.
Yep. As long as you can see within your dark vision, yeah, you see. Quote unquote. So, Neph, Sonya, Bones, Jericho, what do you guys do? Just so everybody has a turn.
Right. So Neph is going to, because she doesn't have dark vision, she's going to pull out her torch of unending.
So,
this
you
is
can
not dark
see.
vision.
Huh?
It's dark vision for the sakes of the map because of the thick fog. You guys can see though.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
the fog.
I'm just making
Dark
sure.
vision as in the fog of war. The black circle.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, in that case, she is going to
Pull out her maul.
Arm herself with her maul. She's going to 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 25, 30.
I'm over here being quiet, and I'm trying to...
Neff is literally going to be about here, and
Leon, I do want to note,
10,
Griswold
15,
has no idea how quiet he's being because
35.
he's deaf.
That's 35 feet for Neff. And she's going to... no, she is going to go one more. And then she's going to ready herself, basically.
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, she's gonna rage.
All right.
Because
Mark
blindness
that
deafness is a concentration spell. The condition for me dropping concentration is after I see what Griswold would believe to be a banshee, which he'd assume to be some ghost-looking fucking thing, like just from legend.
Sure.
After he sees one open its mouth and then close again.
Okay.
Because if I have to hear it, like this feels like context. That's how I'm justifying it.
Okay. Sure.
But that said, I have it for a minute. I do have it noted.
Okay. At the moment, 5 seconds will pass because I want everyone to have a turn. Sonya
It's the
and
equivalent of combat.
Yeah.
Got you. So
Sonya and Jericho, what are you guys doing?
Jericho's moved 30 feet.
Okay.
And he's gonna be right there. He's gonna say, "I'll bring him," and as loud as he can, so they can understand him. The Banshee's gonna tell him, he's gonna be like, "Ladies, I'm back with weapons."
As
Okay.
you hear
With
that.
weapons.
Except for Griswold, you see him. His lips move.
Wait, I see his lips, right? Does he look like he's trying to be loud?
Yeah, he looks like he's being loud. He looks like he's being boastful.
The second I see his lips stop moving and be like, "Oh, you prick bastards! The fuck out of here!" Like, fuck's sake!
That's a
God.
negative raged.
Yeah, Neff is raging.
Yeah.
Leon is going like this.
Oh.
Ow! Shut him.
I'm sorry if you didn't have my mic tuned.
No,
bad.
it's not that. It's like
Okay.
you're right next to me.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Griswold is right next to me. I'm like,
Okay, I was making sure it was roleplay and not a mic issue. Anyway.
No problem. Sonya?
what about Bones? Bones too, right?
Bones is going to cast Mage Armor. Oh, sorry.
No. But I have Bones' mage armor noted as well. It's still good for 3 more hours. So it's definitely still good
Based
for this.
on what happened last time, I'll say that she moves over here just to be, like,
Thank you
somewhat
for
shielded.
like soft running her.
Yeah.
Okay. When we fully get into combat, I'll probably take over. But please remind me that I have to make her turn.
Yes. So, what are you doing, Sonya?
Okay. Can you give me Tito? I lost him whenever we changed maps.
So good. Yeah, I'll give you Tito.
Okay, and then I'm gonna move. 5.
Wait, when did you cast Tito? You said he was
Before
only
we got in.
Okay.
The same time, you did mage armor.
And
Gotcha.
remind me
Okay.
of what Tito can do.
30. Okay. Tito, Phantom Watchdog. It's invisible to all creatures and can't be harmed. When a small or large creature comes within 30 feet, it starts barking unless someone says the password, which everyone knows the password. It wouldn't affect them. The hound sees invisible creatures and can see into the eternal plane. It ignores illusions. At the start of your turn, the hound attempts to bite one creature within 5 feet that is hostile to you.
You hear him barking and yapping.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna have him maybe like right in front. And if I'm can I be obscured by one of these trees a little bit?
Sure, you're underneath the tree, obviously. Yeah.
Okay, because I want to see what's happening, but I want to be covered at the same time.
Sure.
She's getting like really bad flashbacks of earlier.
As you see both Sonya and Bones kind of like preparing for the worst. Tito is definitely barking. His little as he was kind of like on you, and then he just jumps off all protective small dogs. Just barking
going like this.
The ground. He's jumping. With that, as this is happening,
Yep.
I do need 1 second. This is GM layer, hopefully. Okay.
I can't see whatever you did.
Yeah, I need Neff, Jericho, Leon, Griswold, Bones, and Sonya all to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Knew it.
Is this for the shriek? Because I am deaf.
You are immune to this. You cannot hear.
Cool. So I don't have to roll, correct?
I have my berries plugged in my nose. Nice. I think.
I would really like raw checked here.
Wait, let's see. All creatures within 30 feet that can hear must make it on a fail. Okay.
I can't hear currently.
So, yep. Nope. You automatically pass.
Hey! I am okay with this.
Okay. Jericho, what did you get?
I got a 7.
Pass. Bones. Sonya, what did you get?
Shit, I need to roll for Bones. Wait,
15?
is Bones in range?
Bones is in range. 15 passes.
Okay.
Neff, what did you get?
Dirty 20.
20 passes. Bones, what did you
Barbarian
get?
with the Constitution.
Griswold
Bones.
obviously passes.
Bones, come on.
You said con save?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a 23.
Good. She passes.
She's learned.
Leon, what did you get?
19.
19. As you all pass. Therefore, you all take 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13.
Except Griswold,
Nope.
because he's entirely immune to this.
Nope, you take damage as well.
How?
You-
I didn't
A
hear it.
psionic effect.
Okay, sure.
You are
That's
not your brain.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So everybody takes a further 13 points of psychic damage, except for Griswold.
13?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, except for Griswold or not?
Griswold does take the damage. Everybody hears this except for Griswold. That's why you automatically pass. That is correct. On a pass, you take 3d6 damage. So,
Okay, I was just making sure.
yeah, since everybody passed, you all take the psychic damage, but you are not unconscious.
Yay!
God.
You said 13, right?
13 points of psychic damage, yes. So it bypasses rage, unfortunately. As you guys all hear this scream from a banshee that just emerges outside of the fog. And let me get that banshee for you, shall we? Oops, that's not what I wanted.
Yes, please. I want to see it so I can smash its face.
And then the second Constitution saving throw, please roll.
Okay.
As a second,
Everyone?
everybody, except for Griswold, you automatically pass, which
Okay.
unfortunately means you will automatically take some damage.
Okay.
What did you guys get?
Leon 18.
18. Okay.
Bones,
Sonya-
9.
9. Bones is unconscious and on the floor. She's at 0 HP.
Again.
What'd you get, Neff?
17.
17. Pass. Sonya.
Dirty 20.
Pass. Jericho.
15.
15?
Yes.
Alright, pass. So for this one, you all take 9 points of psychic damage. I need everybody to roll me initiative.
Can I get an action before initiative? Like, assuming this is, like, reacting to taking the psychic damage?
If you have a reaction, yes.
I want to put up symbiotic entity instead. spending my first turn doing it.
Is that a reaction ability?
No,
Then
that
no,
it's an
unfortunately.
innate ability and it takes an action.
Yeah, unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Because as you guys were moving and raging and all that stuff, they, at the same time, both of these Banshees yelled.
Okay. And I do have my shield and staff out now.
Yeah,
like the second we stepped into the forest.
I
it was
assume
active.
that in combat
Okay.
you all have those things out, and this was pretty much pointless. So,
Okay, I'm gonna
audience.
do.
I'm sorry, can Sonya do a reaction spell?
If you have a reaction, then yes.
Yeah, the one in front of me, Hellish Rebuke.
What is the range on Hellish Rebuke?
It's so long as you can point and have line of sight of it.
All right, cool.
It's 60.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, actually, no.
It's at a dexterity saving throw.
Yes.
Hellish Rebuke is what type of damage?
Hellish Flame.
Okay, cool. So that is a 5. Roll me damage.
I'm not shitting you. I maxed out.
What did you get?
20.
Cool. As you move your flame, your finger and the like a bolt of fire appears from it and wraps around the Banshee. As you see the Banshee looking at the flames, and you feel like it's not bothering it at all, or it's bothering it somewhat. Not as much as you would think, as it starts slowly moving through the flames and the fire.
That,
All right.
Okay.
So
That was surprising.
So with that,
That's so cool.
Bones has dropped to 0. I will make a note. I need control of Bones, please.
yep, sorry.
Thank you. No, you're good. I forgot to.
All right, there we go. With that, initiative has been rolled 20 plus.
23.
Me too. Jericho can
then-
go first.
21.
Okay, Jericho and Leon, you guys get to decide who goes first.
Yeah, that's what I say. I got 23 as well, but Jericho can go first.
Okay, sorry. Okay, Jericho, Jeremiah, if you are ever so beautiful and kind, writing the initiative board, I appreciate the hell out of you. So Jericho,
Yeah, I'm right.
thank you. Then Leon, then Griswold. Nobody got a 20? 15 up.
19.
Neff.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody got an 18 because they did.
I will note that I guess my reaction for taking the first bit of psychic damage, well, no, the second bit of psychic damage on taking both of them would have been dropping concentration on deafness.
Okay, all right. Because
So,
because that's an immediate thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no
okay. So
problem.
I can hear. I just
You can hear
it
now.
hurt.
Yeah, it hurt stupidly bad, but at least you're not unconscious. That is the big fuck of this. Okay. 10 to 15.
Wait, so after Neff is the Banshees?
After Neff is the Banshees.
Wait.
So-
After Neff is what did Neff get? On
18.
19, and then after that is the Banshees. 10 to 15. Bones got a flat 10.
Okay. Sonya, what did you get?
7.
Okay, Bones and Sonya, and that's our.
Oh,
initiative.
and I know I said Hellish Flames, but the Hellish Rebuke was fire damage.
Yes.
Okay, make sure.
That's what I was assuming. So. Oh, that's recap music. Sorry.
Rip.
There we go.
Battle music.
There's that battle music.
Yep, there we go. It's DNC's official battle music for Jesus. So, Jericho, as you see 2 Banshees appear from the mist, and you all see another rip and cut from the fog somewhere around this area, near these trees and stone. Jericho, what do you do?
I am going to.
Getting closer to the mic, you cut out.
Grab that
I'm
phone.
moving right there.
Okay. As you move a couple feet in front of you, next to that tree, yes, sir. It was you.
And then bonus action to shift.
Okay, you shift, make that marker. As you guys start seeing his arms get elongated and creaking, breaking, and hair appear everywhere, and the snout elongating, and teeth, and the furlness of the werewolf comes out.
And then I am going to take a defensive position.
Okay.
And I'm going to say to Neff together as a question.
I'm gonna burn my reaction.
Neff
Sure.
is going to respond.
Okay, yeah, I guess
going to-
Griswold then Neff. What's up?
I'll burn my reaction. Like, as I see him shift, I'm going to shout at the top of my fucking lungs, "Rip and fucking tear! Rip and tear!"
Alright. So action for defense, so if I roll an attack against you, remember that's a disadvantage on my end. Neff, what's your reaction?
My response to him is, "Hell yes, fuck it together!"
Alright.
And I'm saying that in my ragey voice. So.
She took damage. She's still raging.
Yep, she's still raging. Alright, it's movement, action, still have bonus if you'd like to do anything, and you already spoke.
That's it.
Alright, apologies, your card should have been up, my bad. Well now, it is Leon's turn, what do we do?
Leon is going to bonus action. What was that called again? Gather swarm. So fairies all around him.
All these fairies are emerging around your person.
Like, and then I'm gonna look at Bones. I'm gonna pick the movement speed, the +10,
Okay.
and bonus action. Disengage is a bonus action.
Okay, noted.
Yeah. I'm gonna move 5, 10 first, just kind of right next to Bones, but I'm gonna attack first. Nope,
Okay.
he's not gonna attack first. Nope, Jeremiah wants to attack first. Leon does it.
Ah!
So
So
you see a
cure
student just boom, falls to the ground. Alright, what are you killing for?
level 2 cure wounds. That is going to be a 2d8 plus d4. 9, 13.
13, alright. Note that she is at 13 HP.
Acknowledged. Can I?
And then I'm putting my marker.
I put it on her character. On Roll20.
I lost control of her. Please.
What? Why?
I don't know. I just.
It says all players should have control of her. Try to move her?
I'm controlling her.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have the
okay.
fucking ruler thing selected.
There you go. No
Okay.
problem. Layer
And
check.
Action.
So-
Layer check, bro. Action,
Jesus,
bonus action. That's
Jesus,
it.
Okay.
Jesus, for what it's worth, I put health in the.
Sure.
But okay, so it's just 13 currently.
Yep.
Got
13.
it marked. Thank you.
So,
So yeah, action, bonus action,
Mhm.
movement, and end of my turn.
as the fairies start swarming around you, and you quickly run over to Bones, as the fall kind of lifts up a little bit and then resettles back in just with the speed. You uncork the bottle, put it down her, help.
Oh,
the
cure
liquid-
wounds.
Oh, apologies. One, boom, here. All right. And she looks up, and she looks at you. She sighs. Not again.
The fairies are patting her in the head.
Jesus.
hmm
When she dropped unconscious, did she lose? Never mind.
It's-
Mage armor just stays on her.
Okay.
It's not
So
concentration.
she's still at
Yeah,
15.
it's not a con.
Okay.
Yep.
I wanted to make note of her AC.
No problem.
Continue.
It's a good question. All right. Leon just went. So it is now Grizzly's turn. What do you do?
I'm gonna look back to Leon. I assume I get my reaction back at my turn. And I'm gonna be like, oh, y'all are in trouble now. Trigger symbiotic entity
Okay.
as an action, so I gain 40 temp HP,
Yeah, you do.
which is fucking ridiculous. As we all know.
Oh, also, Ryan, on your turn, you don't have to burn reaction to talk when it's your turn. Just
I burned a reaction on Leon's turn when he shifted.
He spoke on Leon's turn, so he was like, "Do I get my reaction back when it's my turn?" Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because that what your thing is a reaction spell or something?
Like 90% of what this character does is reaction.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna measure this real quick. Word that much.
Math?
So I assume. Ugh, I have two options here, and I didn't have it. Once I rolled high enough time to think. I can still. I see this, right?
Yes.
Like, okay.
You all
And
see the skull tree.
Can I talk without burning a reaction on my own turn?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna look to Sonya and be like, Sonya, you said they're skull, right?
Say that again?
I said they're coming out of the skull, right? And pointing towards the skull tree.
Thomas might be.
As you hear Jericho say, Thomas might be in there.
Okay. I'm gonna move here. Fuck, I already did my action. I was totally blanking and thought I could cast. I can't. So I'm gonna rewind a little bit. Okay, actually, I'm gonna move closer to this one.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast as a bonus action Shillelagh.
Okay, it's good.
I'm gonna say, "Come on, you ghostly cunt! Give me what you got!"
As your the spores around your staff kind of tighten, and you see the entire staff be filled with them, even though nobody else can. As Shillelagh has been casted.
All right, and that is my turn.
Okay. Yeah. What you do, girl?
Okay. This is the part that makes me a little upset, because she had a plan, but now it's changed. But because
As how
Jericho,
that works.
yeah, because Jericho said together, she's not fucking leaving his side. So,
There we go.
so, she is going to take a defensive stance as well. I actually have a quick question.
Yes.
If I were to throw a hand axe, what's the distance I need to be?
It should
20?
Should have marked that, but it's probably 20. Yeah.
Okay, 20.
I'm
That
gonna
is-
double check, but you should.
That's
you should
just
keep
far
track of
away.
that.
I'm gonna make sure.
260 max.
Yeah, 20 range, 60 max. So, as long as it's within 60 feet, you can throw it. If it's out of 20 feet, it's disadvantage.
Okay. That's perfect then. Does she want to do a defensive, or does she want to do?
You can throw. You
Nope,
have your
she
action.
wants to throw.
Okay, you
She
can
wants
throw
to
two.
throw.
You can throw
She's
two hand
literally,
axes if you
she
want.
has. Ooh.
Yeah, because your attack is twice, so you can do.
Yep.
Doop, doop.
Doop, doop.
You
I
have to like
two,
place
so
your
that's-
maul like on your
I'll
leg or
yeah,
something, like resting
I'll
or
press.
whatever.
I'll like put it down against my leg, and then I'll just pick it up. Can that be my bonus action technically?
It's fine. You can drop it. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, so I have as a +7 to throw.
No, yeah, no. By our rules, yes, it will be a bonus action to drop it and effectively pick it up again. Yeah, because you're
cool.
unsheathing axes, throwing them, grabbing your
Yeah.
maul, getting ready. So yes, it is a bonus action to do that.
Cool. So the first one is, and I'm targeting this guy. Sorry. This guy right there. It's
she is
25.
20, so both of these attacks are at disadvantage.
They're disadvantage?
Because it's
thought it was
further
20.
than 20. Yeah,
No,
it's
you're
further than
outside
20
of
feet.
Outside of 20, it's a disadvantage.
Oh,
So
okay.
0 to
Gotcha.
20
25.
is you're good. 25 to 60 disadvantage. So you can
You
still
can
roll, but
move first.
you can if you want. But
I could what?
you can
You
move
can
if you
move
want.
first.
You can move, throw, move back.
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
there we go.
Literally, Jericho said do it together, so that's what she's doing.
There we go. Roll me to hit.
Okay. Alright. That's not terrible. That's 15.
15 hits.
Fuck yeah.
Second attack.
That's better. That's much better, actually. That's a 20.
Yeah, it hits.
Yeah.
Roll me damage for both axes.
Sweet.
D6 plus your strength for each one, and your rage bonus because the axe has the throwing ability. You can use your strength. If it was like a finesse weapon, then you wouldn't.
Okay, so
No, yes, you can.
plus my bonus.
You can
plus
anyway.
my strength.
Shoots into
Okay.
your strength.
Yeah.
Wait, let me double check. If rage says melee attack only, should have just said whatever. With melee weapons, yeah. So these do not get the bonus for rage.
Okay, so it's just my +4. Okay, shoot. Now first one.
Tell me the total if you do not mind.
Right. Okay, so that's a. Uh, 18 total.
18. As you throw 2 hand axes at this creature, and you see that the both hit and kind of go through. You saw that like it did some damage, and it definitely was affected by it, but not as much as you would want.
So after seeing that, Nev's gonna pick up her maul and say her favorite thing. Fuck!
All right, favorite word ever. Okay. Anything else, Sniff? That you?
That's all she got.
All right. As the Banshee's turn,
Yep.
this one's going to look at you, Griswold, and it's going to use his horrible vision. I need you to make me a Wisdom saving throw, and same thing for Neff.
Okay.
It's going to move a little bit over here. Yep, both of you guys roll me Wisdom. This one's just going to shift forward by 5 feet.
19!
18. Okay, you're perfectly fine. You note, Grizzy, that you cannot be affected by this one's horrible vision for the next 24 hours.
Got you.
And what did you get, Neff?
I got a dirty 20.
Alright, Neff, note that you cannot be affected by this one's horrible vision for the next 24 hours. As you note that their faces shift in this horrible, and like, it startled you for sure. And like, you felt this unnatural psychic mental link as like you felt like your fight or flight or freeze, because apparently that's the one that's been discovered. It's not fight or flight, it's fight, flight, or freeze. So one of those, as Neff, you probably were like, I need to attack it, but like slightly frozen a little bit. It's not knowing what to do. And Griswold, as you were in the same boat, but it did not have any effect on you. You're just like, huh, fuck.
As a note, was that 10 feet away from me when it did that, or did it move?
It moved and then did it.
Was it 10 feet away from me when it started its...
No, I think it was 15 feet away.
15?
Yeah.
Okay, just out of range. Well, darn, I should have moved closer to it.
Sorry.
I could make it suffer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If you don't mind, put an aura. That will definitely be a
Yeah, I know. I should probably do that. That would be...
When you're done with that, it is Bones' turn. There you go. That's super helpful. So, Bones, what do we do?
Oh, Bones. Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bones has
I
been
really
brought
thought
back
you were like
from,
reading spells or something. Like, oh, what do I
No,
do?
Bones has been brought back from unconsciousness. Both people are a good. Both targets are a good distance away, and Bones has
Spell sniper.
with the skull in particular. Correct?
It cut out at the beginning of the last sentence.
Sorry. The skull tree.
Yes.
She knows of it. Correct?
Yes, she knows of it. Yes,
But she also knows Tomos might be in there.
that is correct.
Might being the operative word.
Yeah, might's a word. And Sonya, you're on deck, so think about what you're gonna do.
Sorry, I was so busy thinking about Griswold, I totally forgot about.
I understand.
That's Lee chastised me afterward.
Magic missile is wait, no, she doesn't have.
I
missiles.
don't genuinely know if she has a health potion, but she probably used it here just to feel a little safer.
I know that she used it on. I don't know how many she had, because she did use it on Sonya last game.
Okay.
So for the purposes of this, I would say that she does not have one.
Oh no, I remember this. Sonya went to Bag of Holding and got the greater one because you had to roll. She had
she had another one in there. Yeah.
She had one greater and two regular.
Okay. Do you want to take a regular?
Okay. I will reach into her Bag of Holding and grab a regular potion and go ahead and pop it here.
Okay.
Drink it, and that's 2d4 plus 2?
2d4 plus 2, yes.
Okay. Holy crap. Okay, so that's 10 plus 2. That's 12. Health, she goes up to 20. Sorry, my computer is lagging heavily. 10 plus 2. She goes up to 25. I'm marking that on her character in D&D, or in Roll20. Because she hasn't cast an offense spell, but used the healing potion as her action.
Mm-hmm. She can cast it as a bonus.
She will go ahead and cast True Strike.
Nice.
And then I will have her pivot. It feels weird controlling two characters. I will have her move right there. I want to ask, line of sight, is that obscured by these trees?
No, these would be bushes, but these would be trees. Well, you can still see it.
Okay, so what I've just clicked are bushes, but she can still maintain the line of sight on top, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so the only one she might be
this one is a
right
little
here,
obscure,
which,
yeah.
Yes, okay. I wanted to make sure I had clear line of sight there. Yeah, she's gonna...
It's 30 feet range that you need.
I'm fully aware of that. True Strike was just precaution on the event of...
But you need to actually point at someone for the True Strike. You can't just cast it.
Wait, I thought True Strike... Hold on.
True Strike, you extend your hand and point a finger to a target in range. Your
So
magic grants
if Bones moves here, she can have True Strike on it.
Yeah, the True Strike needs to be on a target.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've never...
No, it's fine. It's not your character.
Yeah, it's fine. That's why I'm
used True Strike
letting you know.
before. Well, in that case, she won't cast anything this particular turn. And she'll just... Bones will... And that's the end of Bones' turn. She's just healing up and tucking back a little bit.
Okay. Sonya, what do you do? After Bones moved over and just is kind of inspecting the area and the fight and seeing where she needs to go and what she needs to do after drinking a potion, because she definitely needed it.
I'm gonna...
Okay.
I'm gonna move a little bit and still kind of be covered by that bush.
Sure.
And, yeah. Okay, yeah, I can do it. Let me do... Gonna magic missile at a level 3.
Alright, roll me a 2 hit. I mean damage, sorry. Because a magic missile auto hits.
Be a Gundam.
Wait, where the heck is my wand?
Is it bad I still have the
5,
initiative
4?
roll from my nat 20 on my on my d20? Because like I'm just like, oh man, that's the first time in a while. It's,
it's good. It feels good when you roll that. What's the damage?
14.
14. As you go at the
on the right one.
As 14 total.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Which one did you hellish rebuke?
The same one.
Okay,
I'm working on this one on the right.
Oh yeah, because this one appeared first, and then the hellish rebuke was the second one.
4 missiles, 5 missiles, 3,
5.
5. Yeah.
It's a metric crap ton. Whole bunch.
As 5 missiles just boop, 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 fear off and start moving around in this blue tinted missiles and start just cascading on it. As the it looks pretty hurt, to be honest. As I am checking one fast thing,
which is its health.
Yeah, there we go. As it still looks rary and kicking and good for more rounds. As you guys see this, as a Banshee just cuts out from the fog, and that is where we're going to end tonight's game, in the middle of this fight.
Can I talk real quick?
Yeah, you can talk, girl. What a rude of me. What a rude of me.
I'm gonna be facing the no. I can. Yeah. I with my wand at my neck to amplify my voice. I'm gonna. I want to talk specifically to Thomas. Be like, we're here. Hide or come run towards us. We'll protect you. And Biscuit.
As your amplified voice emanates 300 feet in distance, and
300 or 100?
Oh, it's 300. It could be. I think maybe your wand is specifically 100. But the spell was 300.
I think it still gets the effect done.
So yeah, everybody hears you for sure. As nothing happens from within the tree just yet, but the new initiative round has started. So with a fight still in the way, in the middle of the Forbidden Forest with Banshees around, these undead villas, these vengeful spirits, with cannibalistic werewolves out in the forest as well, that you need to kill their leader and try not to kill anyone else. A task that might be easier said than done. Hopefully rescuing your friend in the meantime. And more adventures on to Griswold and whatever median is, as more information is being uncovered, as well as Horcruxes and the Deadly Hollows being somehow involved into all of this. With wands at the ready. We'll see you next time. Adios. Be safe, everybody.
Bye.